I wish my mother could have heard that. She would have wondered who you were talking about. But anyway, let me see. I've got my speech here somewhere. Thank you for coming. Obviously, I can't let you get away without a poem. Has nothing to do with cowboys. It goes something like this. I notice when a fellow dies, no matter what he's been, some saintly soul, or one perhaps whose life is stained with sin, that folks forget the unkind words they spoke with yesterday, and now think up a lot of nice things to say. But if it's all the same to you, my friend, just give to me instead the roses while I'm living, the knocking when I'm dead. I shared that with you for the simple reason to say, the Lord has blessed me beyond belief with roses. I'm going to have more trouble than you are. Anyway, 52 years ago in February, I met the girl of my dreams, and for more than 51 years, she's been my best friend, my lover, and my wife. Shirley. We've met our two children, of which I'm very proud, and one of the grandchildren. Oh, there's Chris is back in there. He and his friend came up from San Marcos. The older son and his wife, which are going to make us great-grandparents in November. Unfortunately, he's in the world of work and could not be with us today. But you mentioned, Greg mentioned the number of students. I started participating in graduation ceremonies as part of my responsibilities, my duties. And of the 42,000 plus Bachelor of Sciences in Engineering that have been awarded by this institution, I have participated in the ceremonies for 22,000 or plus. But that was part of my job. Nothing particularly special about that, other than I'm old and been there a long time. You already heard that there were 8 deans that the school had ever had, and that I actually worked for 4 of them. There was a 5th one that I never did actually work for, but if you've ever been involved in the project with Johnny McKenna, you know who's boss. So he, I think, had to leave. But Ernest Gloiner was dean when I came, and Ernest taught me many things, but 2 things in particular. One was he caught me in the hall and told me his story and said, I just wanted you to be sure that you knew what color your check was, which has been good advice. But more importantly, you heard Tricia refer to it. He said, Al, if you're going to make a mistake, make it on the side of the student. And I have appreciated that from Ernest. And in fact, the other 3 deans I worked for, before I accepted the position, I asked them that. I told them that was my philosophy and asked them if they agreed with that, and they did. Herb Woodson was my next dean, and he taught me another thing that's been alluded to, and that was, we'll talk about what you're supposed to do, and then go do it. Don't bother me if you don't, unless you need my help to do something. But go get it done. If you can find a better way to do it, let's talk about it and do it. I appreciated that philosophy from her. Then Ben Streetman became my dean, and before I knew he had already appointed a new associate dean for academic affairs and a new associate dean for research, and I went in and sat down with him and I said, well, you may want to appoint your own member for your team, and I'll understand. And thank goodness he said, Al, I never thought of it any other way other than you being the Associate Dean for Student Affairs. I have appreciated that many times. Now, Greg, I haven't gotten to know very well because he's only been on board for, what, 9 months now? 9 months. And so I didn't get much of a chance to harass me, but I have worked with 12 other associate deans and 25 department chairs. They didn't always agree with me, but we always respected each other's point of view. We had. Obviously, one of my colleagues said the thing you're going to miss most is the person who keeps your calendar, and I'm beginning to understand what that meant, and I have had some exceptional assistants, and the current one is Pam Brable, and I have learned to appreciate her very much. And Sherry has already alluded to the fact that I was at least in part responsible for hiring her. She could not believe that we wanted her to be the director of our Women in Engineering program, but she took that over and did wonderful things with it. And Andrea, who you heard from, and Tricia Berry, and Michelle Mansolo are all folks that I was in part responsible for hiring. And Glenda Grove Putnam, that was 20 years ago, isn't it? 40 years ago. Anyway, there she is. Hired her. So most of the things for which I have been given credit and take it gladly have been done by the folks who have meant so much to me in terms of our staff. And if I have difficulty with the next one, Tricia is the one staff member which I told her I'd get on my knees and beg if I had to, but I didn't want her to leave the office. She was interviewing for another position. And she has, well, she's been doing the job for 4 or 5 years, so it's not going to be you for her to continue doing it. But I have appreciated all of those who I have worked with, many of them. Terrace is here. Did a lot of things with Terrace, and Diana. Diane is here, another one of those from the past, and I appreciate so much your being here. Helen Keller wrote, "My friends have made the story of my life." And today I've got a little hint of what that meant. Thank you for coming, and I appreciate your being here. It has been a long and wonderful experience, and I have many fond memories going through my office and cleaning it out. There were quite a few that I have some pictures I'm going to use for black and white. But anyway, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate the occasion, and it has been absolutely my pleasure and joy to have served and had this opportunity to do so. Thank you.